Hello everyone, welcome to next lecture on beta and gamma function. In this lecture, we are going to revise beta and gamma function. In this lecture, we are going to cover all the topic of beta and gamma function. So it is a revision type lecture. We are going to revise all the topic which we have already discussed in the previous lectures. If you want to study this topic deeply, then link of previous videos is given in the description box. You can watch that lectures. Also there is a playlist. If you click on the playlist, we can see the different lectures available topic wise. There is a folder given in the playlist. And if you want the PDF file of this unit, then PDF is also attached in the description box. If you click on in description box, you can see PDF of this lecture, beta and gamma function, also the previous videos link. So now we start the revision of beta and gamma function. First we see gamma function. As you know, the definition of gamma function is gamma of n is equals to integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x raised to the power n minus 1 dx. This is the definition of gamma function, and here n is greater than 0. That means we are finding gamma for positive integer. And here if we replace n by n plus 1, then we get this second definition. Next, gamma of 1, value of gamma 1 is 1, and there is some properties, that is gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n gamma n. Next is gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n factorial. This is the second property of gamma function, and this property is applicable if n is positive integer. If n is positive integer, then we can write this n plus 1, gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n factorial. And see here, the gamma of 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi. And the proof of gamma 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi we are going to discuss in this lecture. Next important formula in gamma function is gamma of 1 minus n into gamma n is equals to pi divided by sine n pi. This formula we can use in many examples. If we are solving integration in product form, then that time we get the two gamma terms, and if it is not possible to apply the standard formula, that is this one gamma of n plus 1 equals to n factorial, that time we have to use this condition. That means we are write the gamma product term in such a way that gamma of 1 minus n into gamma of n, so we get it is pi divided by sine n pi. We shortly discuss the proof of first property, that is gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n gamma n. See here, the first term contain gamma of n plus 1. This whole term is in gamma, that is gamma of n plus 1. Now here if we apply the definition of gamma function, then we get this term. And in this term we just use integration by parts formula. Here x raised to the power n is our u, and e raised to the power minus x is v. If we apply the integration by parts formula, then here first term, in first term if we put upper limit minus of lower limit, then it is 0, and solve the second integration, then it is second integral is nothing but definition of gamma of n. So this integral we can write gamma of n, and hence the proof. Next, this type of example we have already discussed, and I have told you about the hint, that is if any integration contain log, then that log term we have to consider as x, so that after taking antilog we get e raised to the power minus x. This method we are use when we are taking right hand side equals to, that means if we are taking right hand side is equals to, that is integral 0 to 1 log of 1 by x whole raised to the power n minus 1 dx. That time we are putting log of 1 by x equals to t, and then take log antilog, then we are converting that integral into the definition of gamma of n. But in this lecture I am going to solve this example using left hand side, that means using definition of gamma function. So this is the new method. Here gamma of n is, by definition, it is integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x raised to the power n minus 1 dx. Now we want to convert this term into this integration For that, we take x equals to log of 1 by t. That means we want log of 1 by x. So directly we are taking x equals to log of 1 by t. Now here, if we take t in numerator, then power of t is minus 1. By using property of log, we can write it is minus log of t. So just here I have multiplied by minus sign. So we get minus x equals to log of t. By taking antilog, we get e raised to e power minus x equals to t. So differentiate this term. So we are converting whole integration into t. So corresponding limit we have to also change. Here we want value of t. So see here in this term, if we put value of x, then we get corresponding value of t. So lower limit of x is 0. If we put x equals to 0 in this term, so then we get t equals to 1. And upper limit of x is infinity. If we put x equals to infinity, say in same term, then e raised to e power minus infinity is 0. So corresponding to infinity, we get t equals to 0. So see here, get this limit and completely put the value. Then here t get cancelled, we get this term. That is, by using integration property, using this property, we can interchange the limit. Then this negative sign will be converted into positive term. We get final answer. In this way, we can solve the integration content log. Now next is, we have also solved this type of examples. Here's gamma of n equals to twice integral 0 to infinity e raised to e power minus t square t raised to e power minus 2n minus 1 dt. Now again I am going to solve this example using left hand side, that means using definition of gamma function. So by definition of gamma function, we get this integration, and as per requirement, see here in this integration we required e raised to e power minus t square. For that we have to put x equals to t square. If we put x equals to t square, then we are converting x into t. So we have to change this integration also limit. Now if we put this value in this integration, then we get this term. Now see here, integral contain two terms of t. Then here t raised to e power 2n minus 2 into t. So add the power of t, then in the next term we get this term. Now if we add the power, then it is t raised to e power 2n minus 1. That means is the answer of the integration. So this is the again new method of solving integration. I have discussed in the last lecture same problem, but in that time we are putting t square equals to x. Both methods are correct. You can solve the problem using right hand side or by using definition of gamma function, that is it, by using left hand side. Please note that this is nothing but the another way of writing gamma of n, that is twice integral 0 to infinity e raised to e power minus t square t raised to e power 2n minus 1 dt. And this definition we are going to use in the proof of gamma of 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi. So this is the very important proof. Now see here, the next property is gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n factorial. Here n is positive integer. Now using the property 1, we can write gamma of n plus 1 is equals to n gamma n. Now here again we are adjust plus 1 minus 1, then it is n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. If we continuously doing this process, then lastly we get gamma of 1, because after reducing 1 we get negative term, and we know that negative term we cannot find the gamma. So after getting the gamma of 1, we have to stop here, and we know the standard value of gamma 1 is 1. So it is a product from 1 to n numbers, that is we can write in the form of n factorial. Now see here, this is the third property of gamma function, that is integration 0 to infinity e raised to e power minus kx x raised to e power n minus 1 dx is equals to gamma n divided by k raised to e power n. Here if we take left hand side, then this integration, and we have to convert this integral into the definition of gamma function. In the definition of gamma function, e raised to e power contains single variable. For that, we have to take kx equals to t. So here kx equals to t, that means k dx equals to dt. So we are converting again in the t form. So we have to change the limit, which I have already discussed how to change the limit, and put this all the value in this integration, then we get this term. Now see here, in the next step we get this type of integration, and this integral, if we change the variable x by t, it is possible that we are directly put instead of x t. So here this is nothing but the definition of gamma of n, that is gamma of n divided by k raised to the power n. This is nothing but the right hand side, hence the proof of our property number 3. See, the next example is we have to solve integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x square into x square dx. Now to solve this integral, again we have to convert this integral into the definition of gamma function, and for gamma function we required e raised to the power single variable. For that I am putting this x square equals to z. Now here x square equals to z, that means x equals to e raised to the power 1 by 2. If we differentiate this term, then we get value of dx and change the corresponding limit also. If we put all these values in this integral, then we get this type of integral. Now here use the definition of gamma function. For that we have to write z raised to the power in the form of n minus 1. That is 1 by 2 we can write 3 by 2 minus 1. So it is a definition of gamma of 3 by 2. And we know that how to solve this term. Just reduce 1 from 3 by 2. Then it is 1 by 2. Gamma of 1 by 2 is under root of pi. So final answer of this question is under root of pi divided by 4. These are the few examples you can try. Answer is also given in these questions. Now next we discuss here how to prove that gamma of 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi. We know that the value of gamma of 1 is equals to 1, and how to get this value. This term I have already discussed in the lectures. That is, value of gamma 1 is 1 we can get by solving the integration. Same way we are always use gamma of 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi. Then how to get this value we discuss in this lecture. See here, we know the definition of gamma function, and just I discussed the one example, that is gamma of n we can also write in this form. So gamma of n we can write twice integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x square x raised to the power 2n minus 1 dx. Now in this term here, if we take n is equals to 1 by 2, because we want to find value of 1 by 2, gamma of 1 by 2. So in this term, equation number 1, if we put gamma n equals to 1 by 2, then we get this type of term. Here x raised to the power 0 is 1, that means we get equation number A. In equation number A, if we replace x variable by y, then still the answer of integration remains same. So here this is the content variable x, and here we replacing x by y, then we get this integration. Both integration value is gamma of 1 by 2. Now in the next step, if we take the product of this two term, then it is this one, and put this value of gamma 1 by 2 in the form of integration, this one. So here 2 into 2 is 4, and remaining integration is this one. Now see here, both the terms in the product form, so we can combine this term. So it is integral 0 to infinity, next integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x square into e raised to the power minus y square dx dy. And we know that both the content e raised to the power, so we can add the power of e also. So in the next step, if we add the power of e, then we get this term. Now see here, this integration by using multiple integral, we can convert this Cartesian coordinates into polar form. And if we are converting Cartesian coordinate into polar form, that time value of dx into dy is r dr d theta. So here we are taking equation of circle x square plus y square equals to r square, and here theta varies from 0 to pi by 2. How to get this value? Now here, how to get the limit of theta 0 to pi by 2? This limit comes using multiple integration. See here, corresponding to given Cartesian coordinate, limit of x is 0 to infinity, limit of y is 0 to infinity. If you draw the diagram corresponding this term, then it is x-axis, y-axis. Here x equals to 0 is representing y-axis, that is x equals to 0 line, y equals to 0 is x-axis. Now next is x equals to infinity. On the x-axis we get some point infinity, and from infinity point we are drawing the straight line parallel to y-axis. But this infinity point is the very large number we get in the positive side of x-axis, and from that point we are drawing the line parallel to y-axis. Same way y equals to infinity is the line parallel to x-axis, and if we are shaded the portion which is bounded by these four curves, then it is nothing but this is the first quadrant is completely shaded portion. Now we are converting the limit into the polar form. That means we are draw the strip which is passing through origin, because we are converting limits into polar form. So in the polar form we have to always take strip passing through origin. So this is the strip. Here P point and Q point is at infinity. So P start from 0 up to the infinity. That means corresponding to radius, limit of r is 0 up to the infinity, because radius corresponding to this term is infinity. Now if we are talking about theta, theta is an angle, and this whole region is covered up from 0 angle to 45, because here we are counting the angle from x-axis. So this start a region, shaded region from x-axis. So on x-axis angle is 0, and to cover the complete region we have to rotate up to the y-axis, up to this term, and on y-axis, so angle from x-axis to y-axis is 90 degree. That's why the limit of theta is 0 to pi by 2. Now here if we put this limit, then we get this integration. Now here we have to integrate this term, and we know how to solve this integration. Here r e raised to e power contain r square. We have to put r square equals to new variable and simplify this term. So here see, integration of d theta is theta. Put upper limit minus of lower limit in first term and simplify the second integral, we get this one. And if you solve this term, then we get this is the integration. Now here put upper limit minus of lower limit, to e raised to e power minus infinity is 0, minus of lower limit, to we get plus. That means here gamma of 1 by 2 bracket square equals to pi. Taking under root on both sides, so gamma of 1 by 2 is equals to under root of pi. In this way we can find the value of gamma of 1 by 2. Now next we are going to discuss the example, that is solve integral 0 to infinity e raised to e power minus under root of x raised to e power 1 by 4 dx. So see how to solve this example. In this term we required e raised to e power minus t, and here it contain under root of x. So we are putting under root of x equals to t, that means x equals to t square. If we change this term in the form of t, then we get this type of integration. Now see here, if we add the power of t, then it is t raised to e power 3 by 2, and this 3 by 2 we have to write in the form of n minus 1. So 3 by 2 we can write 5 by 2 minus 1. See here, if we add the power, then it is t raised to e power 3 by 2. We can write in the form of n minus 1, that is 5 by 2 minus 1. So this integral is nothing but gamma of 5 by 2. And we know that how to solve this term I have already discussed. So I just write directly this value, then we get 3 by 2 under root of pi. Next, these are the few examples. You can try these examples. Some of the examples I have already discussed, so you can refer that videos. Now the next is, see, this is the most important question. We have to show that integral 0 to 1 x raised to the power n minus 1 log of 1 by x raised to the power m minus 1 dx is equals to gamma m divided by n raised to the power m. Now again it contains log, so we have to put log term is equals to t, and here it is a log of 1 by x equals to t, that means we get antilog e raised to the power minus t. Otherwise we can directly take log of x equals to t. The both we can put log of 1 by x equals to t. This is the one of the way. If we take antilog, then directly we get e raised to the power negative term. Otherwise we can put this term also. Both the term giving the same answer. So here I have used this method. You can use that method also. Now see here, if we put this term in the integral, then this integral become in this way. Now for negative power, we are adjust the negative symbol. If we are taking log of 1 by x equals to t, then no need to adjust this minus symbol. We directly get that minus value. Now using the property number 3, we can write gamma of n divided by k raised to the power n. If we compare this property with this integration, then it is clear that k equals to minus n and n equals to m. Now put this value, then it is this one. Now see here, minus 1 raised to the power m get cancelled, then this is our final answer. Now next is again few examples you have to try yourself. The next topic is beta function, and we know the definition of beta function. This is the definition of beta function. After this definition, we have discussed the properties of beta function, and that properties are, the first property is beta is symmetric, that means m and n we can interchange. Second property is integral 0 to infinity x raised to the power n minus 1 divided by 1 plus x raised to the power m plus 1 dx. That means we can write beta in the form of integral 0 to infinity in this form. Now see here, this is the third property of beta function. Beta we can also write in this form. And next important property is fourth number, that is beta we can represent in the trigonometric function, that is in the form of sine and cos also. And in this trigonometric function, if we are replace the power of sine in the form of p and power of cos in the form of q, then we get this standard formula. And next is relation between beta and gamma, that is beta of m comma n is equals to gamma m gamma n divided by gamma of m plus n. And this formula we have discussed already, that is a product of gamma in this form, then we can write it is n pi divided by sine n pi. Now see how to show that the gamma is symmetric. Just we are using the definition of gamma function, and we required here single variable. For that 1 minus x equals to, we have to put t, then x equals to we get 1 minus t. From this term we can interchange the variable x into t. If we put this value in this integration, then integral become this one. So this is the definition of beta function, and it is nothing but beta of n comma m, that means beta is symmetric. In this way we can prove the symmetric property of beta function. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe.